We just got an Old Glory flagpole, and so we're going to show you the process we're going to use to install that in our front yard. Okay, here are the parts for the flagpole. We've got the bolts that hold the flagpole segments together, the nut that holds the finial on top, the flagpole cleat, and some plastic flag attachments, and a couple of Allen wrenches to install. The first thing I'm going to do is install the cleat so that we can make sure that the screws don't get lost, and I'll do that while the kids are starting to dig the hole. So for the flagpole, you have a few segments. You'll see one actually has pre-drilled holes for the cleat. So that's where I'm going to install the cleat using the 2 small screws, cleat, and a Phillips screwdriver. We'll get back to digging the hole. So the hole you want to dig is about 18 inches around by 18 inches deep. There was one more part that I forgot to take out of the box, is the finial. So you'll need this part to go on the very top. We also got for this one a solar powered light. So we're going to install the solar powered light between the finial and the top pulley. This part actually will go in between the finial and the pulley. One thing you want to remember prior to attaching this and raising the flagpole, on the very bottom there is a power on button. Make sure you power that on, otherwise you got to take the entire flagpole back down, push this button to turn it back on. So there is a nut in our kit here as well that goes inside to lock it all together. So that'll go right on top of the very top section of the flagpole. So one tip that I have is the sleeve that they give you that goes down into the concrete is a small PVC style sleeve, which I'm sure does the trick just fine. But I went and got a 2-inch diameter PVC sprinkler system pipe, cut it off to just a little bit longer than the actual sleeve that comes with it. You can see here. So I made it a little bit longer so that we can go down just a little bit deeper. The idea behind this is that I will wrap once we put the lower segment of the flagpole into the sleeve, we can actually cut pieces of bicycle tire around it and then use a hose clamp to clamp the flagpole directly to the sleeve that's in the concrete block, making it a little bit more secure while at the same time still making it able to be loosened and taken out should the need arise. So we want the hole to be 18 inches deep at least.
That's about 14 still.
Looks like right now we're at about 14 inches, so we got about 4 more inches to go. How wide is our hole?
This a top or down?
Top.
Oh, 19 inch.
And you want the hole to be about 18 inches across as well, so that you have the amount of concrete necessary to hold the posts, to give the support that the posts need for high wind days. So again, here are the posts that we're going to put together using the holes on each one. Part 1 is the bottom. So we'll use that to put into our PVC sleeve, and then use hose clamps and bicycle tire tube to attach it and to allow keep water from going down inside. Using the hose clamp and the bike tube kind of weather seals it. We'll also put some pea gravel down in the bottom of the hole for additional drainage as well. The idea you want to have with this hole is, as you're digging it down, you want the bottom to be out wider than the top, giving yourself a very solid base under the ground. That'll also help with high wind situations, which we happen to get a lot of high winds through this part of the valley. So we're going to go a little bit wider at the bottom than 18 inches. We got our post guesstimated in depth. We don't want it to be too far below the surface because we want to be able to attach our C-clamps on top. So now what I'm going to do is take this, and in the bottom I'm actually going to drill a hole through it to put this nut and bolt through. What that'll do is that'll keep it off of the end of the flagpole off the bottom of the gravel pebbles that will be placed in the bottom of the tube and the bottom of the hole. So there's really no measurement necessary. We just want to get this. We just want to get it so that the bottom of the flagpole has some airspace between the bottom and the pebbles. So that gives you a base for the flagpole to sit on. So now we've got the hole dug. It's wider at the bottom than it is at the top. So now we're going to put this gravel in the bottom. We don't need too much of it. This is just for a little bit of drainage. Okay. So we got our flagpole sitting on the bolt that's at the bottom of our post. So now we can, it's really not that critical right now, but you want to make sure that as you're putting it in, your post stays level. So I usually will try to use this to give us a little extra space to put our level on, and it gives us a little bit more leverage to make sure that it stays upright as we fill it with concrete. So making mud here. probably a little bit more concrete. So as you're leveling this, actually not leveling it, you're plumbing this. As you're making this plumb, you'll want to go based off of the white PVC pipe to make sure that it's plumb. And you want to try and do it on 2 different sides to make sure the white is the most important part to get plumb. And with the concrete still in the point of trying to dry and cure, that's the time that's critical to make sure that it stays plumb. And that's another reason why I like to use that other part of the pipe, so that it gives you that little bit of leverage to move it around while the concrete is still setting up. So there is one critical part you want to pay attention to. The top is the part that does not have the beveled end, the end that will actually slide into the lower half. So that's the part where either your Finial or your Finial and light combo is attached. And it's just attached with a single pressure screw screwed into the top of the pulley, and then it uses friction to press into the top. To the top like that. Then you're going to want to run the flag line up through here, run it up this way and then come out. Then you can attach the flag. You can attach the flag carabiner or any other flag holder that you might have, whether you want to go with the plastic ones that it comes with, or you can pick up some from the department store, the home improvement store. You can grab some from there. I managed to get the chrome flag hook from like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, Ace Hardware, somewhere like that, and then put that through there. So we'll probably have to come back and do this tomorrow because we need that concrete to set up before we start putting any weight to it. So we'll do that. We'll finish this up. I'm going to take all of these parts, the flag sections, the flagpole sections, and connect those all together and call that a day for today, and come back tomorrow and we'll finish her up. All right, we've got our concrete post put in, and we're let it sit for about 24 hours. It's not cured yet. It'll take at least actually a number of days before it's fully cured, but at this point we can finish putting on the bike tire tube and hose clamps to at least get the base fully installed. So I've got bike tire tubes. This one's actually from a much larger bicycle, so this one should work a little bit better. Should go over the top this way. If you can't find a tire tube that's big enough, the other option is to cut it so that it goes all the way around and matches itself up before putting the hose clamps on. What's nice about this one is we can put it on directly over the top. So the nice thing about this fatter tire tube is you can actually slide it right over the top and down over that PVC pipe. So once you've got the tire tube on, you can just put the hose clamp around. Should slide right over. I like to tighten one on just the PVC pipe. This will provide an extra seal to keep any fluid, rainwater, storm water, that sort of thing, from running down inside to the bottom. Plus, we'll also keep the flagpole secured to the PVC pipe, so it can't just be pulled straight out. Give everything else another tighten just for good measure. You can attach the flagpole directly to the base and use the nut and bolt to attach it finally to the base, and then it's all set up. To finish it up, before you mount it, you need to feed this up through here, kind of fish that through like that, and then what I'll do is I'll take these two ends, tie these off here, and I'm going to make this the top portion, the top lanyard point for the flag. So as the flag is raised, you know you're at the top. When this raises up and hits the pulley, you're at the top. So that's the idea, is putting this at the top. So then you need to add one of your carabiners. So the easiest way to do that, fold that over, push it through, and then put it right through there. I don't know what this knot is called, and I'm sure any of my sailor buddies out there can fill me in on what this is. But for now, it's just our connection piece. So I'm going to try and get that as close to that top knot as I can, pulling everything tight. And then you need to come down about 3 feet or so to attach the other one. Ideally, what you'll do is put your flag up to it so that you can have it the proper length, the proper distance between these two, so that it's nice and taut with the flag on. Then walk it up, install it onto the flagpole, which we can do that right now. The other key factor to remember is to turn this on before you put it up. Otherwise, you won't be able to light your flag without taking it down again. Line it up, finish the final attachment piece. Here, let's see that. Yeah. Put that through. You can see it from the other side. Mount that in. Twist that on. Lock it down. Then your flagpole is installed, ready to don your flag. So once we leveled out the paver stones, I added an extra bit of rubber tire because we had plenty left, and was able to force it kind of around the flagpole base, giving it another seal, weather seal for rainwater and stormwater. I think it looks pretty nice. One thing you need to be careful though is, as you're putting it in, that flange on the bottom is very sensitive to scrapes, so be very careful as you're adjusting the rubber tire. But it does look pretty nice. Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks. I've given some time for the concrete to cure And one thing I wanted to show you is my preferred method for tying off the flagpole. So once the flag is fully raised, I'll wrap this around a couple of times and then just do a twist. Pull that through tight. But then you end up with this really long tail. So to kind of lock this off, I'll hold this down here, wrap this around, making sure to leave an open spot down here at the bottom. Once you've got it wrapped through, bring this behind both of those and then pull this down through the opening. You can pull it tight, make it look good. It'll keep the flagpole tight, the flag line tight, and your flag will be up and ready to be displayed. Thanks for watching. I hope you got some tips and ideas for your own installation of your flagpole. If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a like. My channel is a variety of things, but ultimately it has to do more with fitness as well as little side projects like this. So make sure that you click on subscribe, click the bell to receive notifications when new videos come out. I try to post them out at least once a week, usually on Sundays. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one. Take care. That's not long enough. Oh, that's embarrassing. Thank you, neighbor.